So the 1 minute life repair is where it started for me, and then everything fell into place beyond that. So how we got to put our conceptions into practice? How we got to make our conceptions consonant with an ordered life, with an ordered, harmonious life? How are we going to do that? Because we have to put together how we think, how we feel, how we sense, and what we believe. Put it all together, and to do it through a form of what we call a direction or an intention in life, to move in a certain direction which is called, in common parlance now, intention. To move in intention. Intention is something I learned about when I first met my teacher in 1974. And so I've been working with intention for 33 years, and those of you who have done the imagery process and all the other work that I teach, you know there's always an intention involved. An intention is a direction, it's an aim. It's your will given a certain aim without concern for a result. Without concern for a result, because the healing for yourself, healing means to come into wholeness. It means wholeness, it means health, and it means holy. It means hale, and it means wholehearted. All of that are all connected. It comes from the similar root, the same root in the English language. So you want to become hale, hearty, whole, wholesome, healthy, healed, and connected with the invisible reality, which is in certain circles called the holy. That which is not perceptible immediately to our senses here in the everyday time-space dimensional reality, but which we can make connection with and use it to our advantage and to inform and to bring us, as Isis did, into a self-remembered state, to remember ourselves, to put ourselves together, back together as one whole human being, to remember ourselves. And when we remember ourselves from this dismembered state that we ordinarily find ourselves in our daily life situation, which is the way it's meant to be, because the challenge for us as beings who want to move out of this dismembered state into a spiritual state, which is one of wholeness and unity, is to remember, to put ourselves back together again. So all of this work has as its basis the fact that you remember, that you come back to yourself, that you restore yourself to life. So this is a constant resurrective process that's going on. We're constantly doing a resurrective process. You see, it actually exists, the resurrection, because we're doing it all the time through these processes of rebirthing ourselves. So it came to me, how do you do it all? Well, I had to find a way to put it all together. And it seemed, when I asked, which is a nice process for you to do, if you need answers to questions, ask. So you ask yourself the question and listen for the answer. Listen. Ask and listen, and you'll hear a voice come to you that gives you the answer that you need. Just ask. It's a very common, easy way for it to be done. It's been given to us over the millennia. It's been written about in the ancient wisdom, simply that way, ask and you'll be answered. So we have that process available to us. All of these are available to us instantaneously. Okay, so what's going on? We got to put the four together. So it occurred to me that it all is there for right in front of the nose, in front of your face. I hope it's not in front of your face. I hope it's still on your face, you know. But it's as plain as the nose, I guess, wherever that nose is. So what we do is we sense. That means we physically experience something. We feel, which is the mental component of that. We feel, and everybody feels. We sense, which is the physical component, right? We see or use some sort of process to become aware of this, what I call unconditional language, a language that exists in what we call the no-time zone. It's a language that's not connected to ordinary logical discourse. It's language that is not tarnished or contaminated by bringing other associations to it. It exists in and of itself, so it circumvents the habitual logical process, which is the mechanical, materialistic way of thinking that brings us toward the realm of death, used as a way, as it's used by us currently, to find our way in life. It's not meant to find your way in life. The logical process is used to help you navigate around your life, so that all of you here, when you want to get up and leave or take a drink of water or go somewhere outside the room, you have to use your logic to navigate your way out of here, but not to work out what your human relationships are or how to make a connection with the invisible source, which has all the answers for us and contains all the energy and all the nutrients and everything that's available to us that we connect with to bring us into this healing and holy and whole way. We have the potential then to use this unconditional language, which is called image, unconditional language, which exists in and of itself and is a way of thinking, and not to use the conventional or trained or conditioned logical cause and effect way of thinking, which is taking the path of death, which we'll come to much later on when we get into these other processes. So what are we doing? We're sensing, we're feeling, we are using a language. That's what we call the natural and true language of the mind. The mind is the channel of communication between invisible reality and visible reality. We're using that channel of communication, which contains information that's sent to us as a language from invisible reality, made visible to us in the form of what's called image, sometimes referred to as symbol, which means bringing together the invisible and visible in a form that you can perceive. And then we have the belief, that is the ideational thought that goes on, the conception, what you're conceiving. So it's easy then to make connection to what you believe, to what you conceive, to what you sense, what you feel. And now we have to connect it to something that's taking place in the material life, in the everyday time-space reality. What's taking place in that everyday life, that time-space reality, is the way of your body behaving and responding in this existence in which we live called human beingness. Here's how we are alive for each other and in communication with each other as physical, functioning human beings.